All right. Welcome to another NCBB game of the week, this time featuring the TCU Horned Rats, coached by Freshman, and the Hawaii Warrior Elves, coached by Apajar. This is an out-of-conference rivalry game between these two teams. Hawaii needs little introduction. They are the premier passing program in the nation. TCU, I dubbed them the Furry Hawaii a while back because of their just crazy play style and awesome team success when they won 2 back-to-back championships. But with me in the booth right now, we've got Bezakistine. He was supposed to be playing in this time slot, essentially, but...
Hey, Dutch life. What are you saying, man?
What's he saying? You talking shit?
He said this one's more exciting anyway. I don't know about that.
If you're looking for scoring and offense and passing, I mean, maybe, yeah, it's going to be more entertaining in that respects, but...
I got more, well, hold on, let me count. I got more players with catch than either of these teams, so...
Interesting. I mean, you do have 4 with catch that's built in. I'm not sure... Wait, does Hawaii only have 3 catchers? They do,
yeah,
so technically you win. All right, I mean, that's a fair point. The Bretonians and their tactical game may not be to everybody's liking, but regardless, we'll see how Hawaii and TCU do. TCU, though, they kind of need a big season because last season they looked really good early. They had a really solid record. But there were people who were just like poking holes in their resume saying like they hadn't beaten anybody, their conference was garbage, TCU like as a roster was just not that good. And then the game against Navy happened, and if anybody needs a reminder, that ended up being our game of the year officially after the award voting because it was a huge upset at the time when Navy knocked off TCU on the final play. And then TCU kind of stumbled to like a 6-2-2 finish, and they got crushed in the Rose Bowl by another skaven program, SMU. So TCU is looking to bounce back this year. They're not that far away from their glory days of championships, but when you lose last season's Wile E. Coyote recipient, which is the award given to a player whose career was cut short early, his name was literally the Horned One itself, and as a skaven team, when you lose a player like that, lose to Navy, lose the Rose Bowl, you kind of need something good to happen. And so, Baz, can something good happen today against these Warrior Elves, or are we just going to watch Mr. Zach Daniel, the all-time leading passer, just have his way with these Rats?
I mean, I'm looking through the teams, and... Well, first of all, is this a rivalry?
Yes.
Okay, so the bride makes sense then. So I was going to say, he needs some ways to remove some of the elves.
Right.
I mean, looking through, it's, you know, but both teams seem fairly even. There's a couple of pretty big targets on the elf team. We had a catcher with the niggle. Mm-hmm. That could be a big deal. We got that 6 AV guard on the bench. You know, I mean, there's a path for sure. I think any result makes a lot of sense here.
Okay, well, that doesn't narrow it down a whole lot. Looking at TCU's roster, they are a bit young, especially in the gutter runner core. They've got one with Horns Russell, very nice defensive piece coming along. And then, of course, the TCU special, the pass blocking interception piece, catch, pass block, sidestep, block. I'm not sure there's another team in the nation that has pass block on its roster besides, you know, Lizards with Chameleon Skinks. That's just kind of built in, of course. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Blizzard team shouldn't have one anyway.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one, but we'll discuss Lizards another day. We still have 2 Storm Vermin, and they're much better than they were last season. Both have Mighty Blow, one has Claw, one has Tackle. The Rat Ogre needs to be retired 5 games ago. I remember stating that this time last season when they were playing Navy. Stand Firm, Guard, Juggernaut, that's 3 normals. He's already got a niggling injury. He needs to retire and go, you know, major in sports psychology or something. Just get off the field.
Yeah, I mean, Rat Ogres are already questionable players in general. I know he has had some really good ones. I mean, good rat ogres are awesome. Rat ogres with 3 normals are not awesome.
No.
Rat ogres with 3 normals who's also niggled are very much not awesome. And now that with him having 2 blitzers that can do some damage, I'm not sure that you really need the rat ogre at the moment.
No. Last season, I think it was more justifiable when your blitzers were still young and you didn't really have any just obvious blitzing piece, and so taking Juggernaut and using him often was fine. You don't have Broadnecks anymore. Guru does now in the NBFL. That was a legendary rat ogre that we don't see the likes of very often, albeit there was the Pillsbury's Doughboy in Go, but he doesn't have mutation access, so he doesn't have claw and tentacles like Broadnecks did. But I don't know. Watching Wisconsin last season, which was a rat team in my conference, coached by Charlie, he just kept rebuying rat ogres despite the fact that his team was always low on players and low on funds, and all of them sucked and all of them died quickly, and he just kept rebuying them. I'm like, eventually just forget the rat ogre, go for some depth so you're not playing with 8 players on turn 3. I mean, your Skaven and your gutter runners can do that, but eventually it catches up to you, and last season it did, and I think Charlie just had enough of being down players, and he's moving to Chaos now in the non-AQ.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason cool rat ogres are still like, oh, that's awesome, and it's because people don't take them.
So they're rare. Yeah.
People don't take them,
Looks like Apajar's going through the seniors on his team. Freshman only has 1. Apajar's 3.
So I think not having it now is definitely going to be, would be better at the moment. I don't think he's pulling his weight overall. I especially don't think he's pulling his weight in this particular game.
Archaean, what say you? You join us in the chat. You coach Skaven. Do you like the Rat Ogre? Love the Rat Ogre? Hate the Rat Ogre? What's your opinion on the big beastie?
I'm a fan of the Rat Ogre personally. It gives me an extra piece to equal the bash game.
Okay.
But you can. Basically, it seems like often I live and die by the Rat Ogre because I use it a lot. And sometimes it's a curse, sometimes it's a blessing.
But we can agree that the Rat Ogre is basically just a bad bloodthirster, right? Same kind of style, not as good, not as cool.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have, a Minotaur or a Rat Ogre? They're very similar.
Minotaur.
I suppose it also matters which Minotaur, because the Chaos version has mutation access on singles, and the Chaos Dwarf does not, so that kind of matters as well. But
it's just Horns is a little bit better than MA6.
True.
And Prehensile Tail, which is, it's fine, but Horns means easy 3 dies. Now the problem is the teams that can get them don't need that, But I'd argue that that's simply Rat Ogre in general. I never had one until a couple games into a couple seasons and then left out.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was the Wizard going away. But even now, this team, this game it's not huge, but instead of if you didn't have Rat Ogre, you could have an Apo in 2 games.
True. Or just
and I know which one I'd rather have.
2 extra players.
Or a Wizard in this case.
Or a Wizard, yeah, it's a rivalry.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know if you guys are privy to the fact that my Rat Ogre got minus armor last night.
I heard about that, yeah.
So he's currently block, guard, plus MA, minus AV.
That sounds like an early graduation candidate to me.
Yeah, I think so. But so then it's in my mind, the question has been, am I going to hire another? I don't know that I've played rats very much without a Rat Ogre. Even when I played rats in the 7th league, I used a Rat Ogre.
So the early Vanity Pass burns the reroll down to 2, and this is another reason why I hate TCU because they only run 3 rerolls, and I yell at them every time about it. I do commentary, and they don't do anything about it. And then you got a pretty easy play here. You just blitz the gutter runner that's right there on column 10, then you go sneak the ball out with like your catcher, and then you run downfield, and the game's already over, and freshman loses because of the stupid freshman gutter runner.
There's plenty of times when a vanity pass is okay.
Mm-hmm.
In a game against elves, when it's usually not that time.
Generally, I would agree with you. We'll see what Mr. Pahibi can do. I believe one of the seniors Apajar mentioned. You still have to get the ball on a 3, which is not, guaranteed.
I mean, there's work, but like it's much better. And unlike most teams, I guess you can just kind of. With Nerve Steel, he doesn't even have to touch out. This case, you're fine with it. Oh, you see?
Doesn't get it initially, gets the dodge, goes for the pass because, of course,
pass block.
Forgot about pass block. He's also going for negative passing yards, which is a huge no-no for Hawaii. So this is just a terrible opening sequence for both teams. I think both coaches are rusty. It's a new season, and it's week 1, and this kind of stuff happens. So they need to get this cleaned up pretty quickly. God, I'm tempted to just dodge in there, but
not against tackle.
Yeah, but if you don't, it doesn't do anything for you. Yeah,
it's not just seal. Yeah, come on. Either you don't do it at all or you dodge in.
Now he did almost intercept it. He rolled a 4 and then a 5 with the catch roll, so he's damn close. But
yeah, I mean it's not that bad. It's like what 30%.
It's free real estate, basically, after you decided to give the ball away. And then Trevon Killens fails the GFI, so we'll see what freshman can do to get the ball back. It's still early. Going down 1-0 isn't the end of the world for teams that can score pretty quickly.
Yeah, with this, there's a lot of time. I know Rats in a matchup like this, I've had situations where my opponent snipped turn 1. I got the defensive, not awesome. The game ended 5-4. A lot of chances for a blitz or a snake the other way or a really good defensive play or 1,000 other things.
Indeed. I know. In the Skaven Draft League, I didn't go with a Rat Ogre because I didn't get a good one in the draft, and I did have a Block Frenzy Stand Firm line rat who served me very well in a similar role for several games before he finally got injured. But I was okay with playing without one and playing a little low TV, but I also had a bunch of plus stats on that team, so that was just kind of a weird roster.
Well, my thing here is you clearly don't give a shit about your team. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any more rather than. And if you don't care, why don't you have a 4-3 roll?
I don't know.
I mean, I think there's an argument with 3 rerolls where you're like, hey, I can float at 1,500 TV. I can get Skitter or Applers or Faves against all the big teams, and I can have a pretty nasty team there of Rats. But not if I have a Rat Ogre. That Rat Ogre is 210 TV by himself.
Ugh. It's very possible freshman just graduated a senior thrower that had leader, which was, in a sense, his 4-3 role, but you obviously had a chance to buy a new one before this game.
Freshman didn't graduate anyone.
Okay, that was 2 seasons ago then. So he just chooses to run 3 rerolls because he hates me and wants to torment me. But
I mean, it's not horrible. My Brats have 2 rerolls in the leader, and they have done
Next time you run 3.
I hate all of you. I'm just going to throw that out.
But the one thing is with TCU is, I don't know how they're doing now, but, this is a team that has a championship pass. And overtime games, you really do want 4 rerolls.
Yeah, it makes a big difference in those long games.
But
TCU
good
able
play
to
here.
recover here.
He's got the ball back. Didn't take too much dice, just a couple of ones. And the ball feels pretty safe now. I mean, it's a pretty big swing right there. Catcher out of the game. And one thing with Hawaii is
Why
You
would
can
you
only have-
burn a reroll there? You're down to 1 on turn 2. Oh my god.
Hawaii, with them only having 2 catchers, even the rookie going out will have a real effect on their offensive drives.
That is a lot of speed gone. Well, things look so good for Hawaii a turn ago. Not so much now, but...
Wait, is that an extra arms gutter runner?
Yes, it is.
No, freshman. Like,
I love it.
there's only like 17 doubles that are better.
It's true, but I do love a little bit of diversification. And extra arms, I think, is a very underrated skill. I know 2 heads, obviously, on a gutter is just awesome. Horns is great. Shadowing and prehensile tail is a great combo and stuff. But extra arms, you get in there, you sneak away with the ball, and you just do rad things.
If you're doing it for pickups, you take big hands.
Big hands,
It's
right.
just better for pickups. So if you're doing it for catches, I mean,
Catch is better
Rad
than extra
4.
arm.
yeah, that too. I mean, but it's just, it's.
Well, we'll see what kind of build he develops on that player, because maybe he's going to be the next in line of the pass blocking specialist. He's going to get catch and pass block, and then he'll be an interesting player.
That doesn't make me feel better about it.
I was going to say, if he dies right there, then you'll feel better about it, because we won't have to see him again. But
It's just a
he lives.
double first skill on a gutter is like a dream. Like, there's so much you can do there. That's, like this gutter runner literally does nothing. A normal gutter runner, like a rookie gutter, does everything this gutter can do 97% of the time.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I mean, look, because I've done all this, that extra arms is going to win this game. I'm calling it now.
I mean,
and that's the
does
thing.
seem
I mean,
likely.
I bitch about people's skills a lot, but like one thing is, it's often not that big of a deal. I'd argue this here, but like in general, it's like you can take a worse skill and if you can use it better, or it's like, okay, maybe a skill like its actual value is like 3 TV less than another one you could have picked. So it's like, yeah, I think that's wrong, but I can see uses. I mean, I can definitely see how it can win the game. I mean, I take skills that are absolutely wrong because I like them and I feel like I know how to use them.
Yeah, it's all about how you use the skills you take, right?
Yeah, so if his plan is to let his gutters be easily marked and then throw to them, then extra arms is a reasonable skill.
Might as well take Nerves of Steel then, right?
Yeah, you see, Nerves of Steel is better if you want to do that. Big Hand's better for pickups. I mean,
But extra arms can do all of ththose things. It's very versatile. It gives a +1 to like 18 different things, and I clearly exaggerated, but
no, I mean, when we say all the things, we're talking about 2 things, and neither of them happen very often.
well, they're pickups, catch, and interceptions, correct? And throw. I mean, interception is
No,
technically a catch, but
it doesn't do anything for passes.
you sure? It feels like having a third arm to somehow like push the ball would make it like good.
So you throw a football with more than one arm?
Yeah, don't you? Where is this guy going? Oh, he's going for the pass. I was like, where are you leaving the ball? And, I mean, I realize that is a sidestepping, lodging gutter runner, but he's not really screened off well right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, you can kind of get the other one over there.
I'd like to point out there is a strip ball.
Kai
That is a 2+ with dodge away.
in the middle. Yeah.
Well, we're getting a foul.
By a rookie gutter. Oh my god, this is gonna be one of those games, isn't it?
Bruh.
Baz, I'm glad you weren't there for the game last night between Ottawa and Gallaudet. Because Menno was the
Bribe's
perfect...
gone.
Bribe's gone. Menno was the perfect person to call the game with me. And 2, you would have, like, torn your eyeballs out at the coaching decisions in that game.
So, I mean, I've already seen the replay.
Okay, good.
I think both of them played reasonably well defensively.
Clearly you're being sarcastic, right?
No, like, I mean, I could understand, like, both of them were in situations where on the defensive, they were behind for most of the time. And so they were both taking shots, right, to try to, like, swing it the other way. And I think you can justify that as well. I think both of their offenses were a bit questionable.
Right.
I think Nelson especially, I mean, he had the drive locked up and then
Let it get out of hand. Yeah.
decided he didn't. So, like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I would have had some thoughts for sure, but I think there was plenty there I liked on the replay. The 10 minutes I spent watching, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, your overall plan.
Oh.
Ooh, we got a death.
Oh no, it's the guy you loved. Darius Davis. No. I don't think you can apothecary that with your pretty decent strong vermin coming along, and he's just a wee babe of a gutter runner, and he's no longer in the league. Or
you see that Snuffle saying, "Man,
bad skill choice."
It's time for something new. Let's go and let's get something better next time. Maybe I'll double again, and you can take something that you've used more, like tentacles.
He said, "Try again." All right, so Hawaii playing some aggressive defense here, marking a bunch of the rats. We'll see if Freshman can escape this proverbial mousetrap.
Yeah, I mean it's there's not great options here, are there?
Well, the obvious play is to clear your gutter runner from the middle. You can just throw an easy block there. Send that gutter runner to the corner. Get the ball to your Hail Mary pass thrower, and then chuck the ball to the corner with Hail Mary pass. Or you can just chuck it to him normally, and then he runs to the corner.
Yeah, you could even just like hand the ball off to him. Well, no, because you don't want to hand the ball off. Anyway, but yeah, getting the ball to that gutter definitely feels like the play. My issue is
he's not going to do it.
No, how do we do it? Like, I don't see a good way of doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess like you could GFI with White, line rat who's down to try to mark the diving tackle blitzer and then block with the claw to. It's a messy situation. Oh, okay, never mind. This worked well. Yeah, good enough. I mean, this play makes sense.
That
You really needed the knockdown.
That comment was dripping in sarcasm, but
no. It is not. This is not sarcastic.
Wait, how is this a good play? Like, he's stuck.
Yeah, but if he got the knockdown
on a blodger,
I mean,
he has wrestle.
And he has made it now that he has a 1-die block to free him, and now he can go back and hand off, and he can do the damn thing. Look, it's, as I said, it was a bad. Wait, no, it's definitely not. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, like either
that's
we're like
still
not,
a negative.
We're not seeing the same thing, or something.
That's not a half die.
You could double GFI here and tag both them, but no.
I mean, you could just dodge. It's a 3+.
Yeah. We saw Joey Mendez last night pull off some 3s and some 2s and some 3s and some 4s. I mean, that was a wild game.
He's a pretty good player, ain't he?
Oh, yeah. Prove once and for all who was better between him and Julian Starr, no matter what the numbers might say.
Ooh.
And the numbers say 0 for the number of rerolls that Freshman has for the rest of this half. But he does set up the 2-die to free up the blitzer to do something. I guess you just go hand off to the thrower who's agility 5, so you catch it on a 2, then you just Hail Mary pass it to the corner.
Yeah, that works for me.
I mean, none of the L's are within range as long as
Well, you need a good scatter. I mean,
Yeah, Bethley might be able to get there.
you might want to get that. I mean, you might want to get your gutter runner off the sideline and just like move him up a little bit before the pass. But Snake would obviously be pretty bad there. And I guess he is somewhat protecting. Well, no, there's the frenzy. Okay, yeah, the frenzy's not really in a spot to do anything.
What if you like Hail Mary pass it to your side of the field, like up top somewhere where none of the else can get it?
I mean, I've done it. I have done the reverse punt in CBFL when I briefly played it. It almost worked.
Nice.
But it did not work.
Did not work. Okay.
I mean, I got the ball there, but I ended up losing. But
it happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, any stupid thing you can think of, I've probably tried.
Play this game long enough. I'm sure you've seen everything, right?
Well,
right,
I'm
so
also
what's
kind
our,
of an idiot.
what's our play here? Bethley's going to go grab the ball and throw it to somebody who moves over there with him because you don't want to leave him by himself. You don't want to chuck it long. You got the Horns Russell guy right there. All your good players are tied up. The real question is, can you get a surf here? Because I would sure like one.
I mean, yes. I mean, you can pretty easily get a surf. I don't know if it's a surf that's worth trying, really.
Right.
I think right now you just like get the ball and like have it in your hand. You know, like I don't even really care what you do with it afterwards, as long as you win this turn with the ball in one of your players' hands.
So let's get Ely.
You're happy.
Dodge him up, set up a 2-die on the thrower, blitz your blitzer through, and get him kind of screening off your Kai Kaneshiro guy. And then you move the other catcher downfield too. Oh, he's not picking up the ball.
So as of now, it looks like I'm not going to consider this. Sorry? Is he trying to come with this? Nope.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point. He's not even doing a surf. Can I use the Jim what are you doing reference for Apogee here? Because he's not committing to pick up the ball, not committing to the surf. I'm not sure what he's committing to. He's just kind of like...
This is why you need a second thrower for Hail Mary pass to play on defense.
Yeah.
This turn right here, which is much more likely than needing extra arms. Ooh. All right, so
pretty simple here. You go and tag the catcher, throw a 2-die on the lineman, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's you're still gonna need to get out of there somehow.
I mean, you can tag Chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You throw Trayvon down and mark Bethley, and then you blitz with the Horns Wrestle.
Oh, I didn't say that guy was free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you bring that guy there, you 2-die, you get the ball, you get in the end zone, and somehow, some way, you get an ugly touchdown halfway through the first half. Or you do something else entirely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you mark before doing that blitz, right?
Because you already had somebody there to mark.
Yeah, like he was already marked, and then that linebacker could go and do other things, like mark the other guy. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm not 100% sure what's going to be happening, but
that's what makes this fun, right?
My game starts in 13 minutes or so, which will be fun.
That's the game we were supposed to be doing, Baz, but...
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I mean, maybe I don't want you doing my games. That doesn't work out well for me, usually.
That's true. Historically, your games
Although
are a little underwhelming.
Every NCBB game of mine we've done, I've won. Because I've only done one.
You did win the bowl game. Pretty good fashion.
I did. And now Bull is in my conference, so we're going to get a rematch of that at some point.
Oh. I actually play him in out of conference, so I'll try to beat up the humans a little bit first.
I like inducements. They're fun.
Okay,
I'm gonna get
not beat him.
I get 210, I believe. in this game. That'll be fun.
Any preview to what the Bretonians might bring against the foul necromantic hordes?
Well, they now have a Mighty Blow Wolf. Because somebody played him before me.
Browncorn.
So I'm the Wizard.
Okay. It is a rivalry.
Yeah, it is a rivalry. I figure he's going to foul me more times than allowed.
6, not by the way, Doofer, if you're listening.
There's a reason refs kick people out for it, and we really should punish it harder.
Touchdown for TCU.
Yeah, I mean, worked out. Not quite the way I do it, but I don't think that it's like hugely different odds-wise. It's just not quite what I would have done, but not bad. Yeah, 4-3 seems pretty easy here.
It did if it didn't take you 5 turns to score.
Just if people keep 2 turning, we'll get there.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite that one game in the Skaven League where both OTS and Melfian, I think, like literally just 1 turn for the first 12 turns of the game back to back to back.
Thank God, there's nothing more boring.
That's true. That's a lot of setup time just for like a really quick turn.
No, and 1 turns are just, it's like there's cool 1 turns and there's lame 1 turns, and those are lame. I mean, it's A, they were dumb. B, natural 1 turns are lame.
Well, they're not allowed anymore in the rule book, which is cool. So now you actually got to like use your big brain when you're trying to 1 turn.
Yeah, you got to get at least 1 push, which is really hard to do.
This game reminds me more of our game in the Skaven Draft League, where we both went into it saying, like, these guys don't know how to play Skaven, we're going to score a bunch, and then somehow our game was, like, 1-1 because of coaching decisions and dice and whatever else happened.
It was 0-0 at halftime.
That was a weird one.
I think it ended 2-1, so, like, second half we did a little bit, but, yeah, the first half was a mess. This was kind of a mess so far, except that they figured it out a little better. They got the 1.
They got the 1.
So we got a lot going on. I have a feeling we're going to see a pass this coming turn.
That might be your most accurate prediction of all. But do you want to score fast as Hawaii? I think you just want to take up the rest of the half here, right? Granted, inviting freshmen to fail with 0 rerolls on offense could lead to a defensive score, so it's a little risk-reward.
You got options, really. You got options. For sure.
It looks like is he doing like a flying V or something with his players up top there? I'm not sure I've ever seen like a reverse pyramid on offense because you're not blocking the line of scrimmage against rats, which seems incredibly odd. I know you're Hawaii and you're Pro Ls, but AB7's AB7. Just throw some blocks and see what happens. You still have enough speed to send everybody else downfield.
We've only got 2 gutters on the field. So I'm not sure. You're all that worried about getting the ball.
Looks like we're going for the 2-turn sideline. Not really sideline cage, but just kind of screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space that's been given. And it seems like Appajar's happy to take it.
This is TCU's standard alignment, though. It's much better when they had a kicker, and they don't currently. But they've always kind of put everybody on the one side, put the Rat Ogre in the middle, have the gutters ready to pounce, and shoot the gap, as the old Skaven playbook would suggest. But without a kicker, it's not great. And against elves, I'm not sure it's the right formation either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hugely different than what I'd always do in BFL. Back when I was playing rats there, except I'd have my line of scrimmage on the opposite side of where my other players were. But I find it doesn't work all that good against elves. It's just like, yeah, they're happy to take the space.
Here's our pass that you accurately predicted and Zach Daniels accurately threw.
Yeah. Now there's a very good argument that in this specific case, you're hoping for the 2-turn very much because like he 2 turns and then you 2-turn back, then there's only one turn for him to score, and you basically like got the equivalent of the 8-turn stall, but with an extra touchdown.
True. Now, Appijar doesn't have to score. He can certainly kind of like slowly stall his way downfield a couple squares at a time. Doesn't seem like his style, however.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I'm thinking we're going to get a blitz from the Rat Ogre here, put him on the ball. Nope, okay.
Going for the claw play on a lineman who's already AB7. Okay, I like it.
Got a KO.
True.
Got a KO, so, like, you know, did something. Now we're going to try to move the Rat Ogre to contact with the ball. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, because, like, instead of dodging on a 3+, you can just pass, because that makes a steal, which is weird.
And then he doesn't put it on the ball?
So this might actually be better, because, like, the Rat Ogre on the ball doesn't do a ton, but the Rat Ogre on these two, you know, now those two, if they're stuck, that makes it a little harder to screen the ball off the next turn if he decides to continue. So yeah, I think this makes sense.
Perhaps.
As I said, obviously not what I would have done, as it wasn't my first ball, but like this guy marking the ball, that's almost as good as the Rat Ogre doing it.
Could be better if both were marking the ball with tackle and prehensile tail, but
yeah, but I don't think if you put prehensile tail, he cares about dodging anyway. I mean, it's a 2+ pass because of nerves. So like it's a 2+ to get the ball out of there, no matter how. Whether it's by dodging right now or doing a little short pass, you don't gain a lot having the Rat Ogre on him.
You're telling me Appijar would pass the ball out of that situation or any situation? Because you're absolutely right. The one thing I don't love is that the Skaven are initiating a lot of contact, and if Appijar chooses, he can block a lot of reps.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, I like that he was going for even more contact as he was saying that. Rats want to be in contact. That's just that's their natural state. The rats exist in two places. They're either in contact or they're in the KO/pass box.
There's our short pass, like you said.
But and all the contact here.
He just walked into the end zone without blocking or blitzing or something. Man, like, I am risk averse, but you already had the ball free. Like, hit a rat or two.
Yeah, but you only have one reroll. If you're going to score, you really want that one reroll on defense. That's why I'm like contact. Like, the contact is basically saying, look, like, you can try to stall, but you're going to have to dodge a whole lot of guys. And if any of them fail, I'm going to get a shot at the ball.
True. And
it could be game losing for you. So it's, you know, okay. And also, again, I mean, it's a high flying Hawaii team. You know, like they're not blocking people. That's not what they're about.
This is true. I mean, I would have blocked like a rat or blitzed the gutter maybe with your tackle blitzer or something, but
no, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I mean, the goal of any game is to try to win with the least amount of blocks possible. The more blocks you have, the less valuable your win is.
If only that were true. All right.
I mean, anyone can look and be like, hey, I'm going to go and make 2 dies. I'm just going to guys stand next to each other and I'm going to click a button. But, like, to get stops without blocking, I mean, that takes, you know, that takes some strong play.
Are you telling me there's more to Blood Bowl than just throwing as many 2 dies as possible?
I mean, there's a term that gets floated around in some high-level Blood Bowl communities called overblockers. And if you are an overblocker, then you're probably an above-average coach.
But that's it.
I am off to play Doofer.
All right. Good luck in your first NCBB rivalry.
Not true. I've had a rivalry with Poods back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah, me and Poods are rivals.
Oh, fair enough. I missed that guy. All right. Well, good luck against Doofer regardless.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that was Baz joining us for the first half. Off to play the mighty Paris Dead Jokers, coached by Doofer, with his somewhat mighty peasants and Bretonian royalty. Let's see what Freshman does here on offense. Looks like he's trying to create a gap so he can get through the middle. No injury, though. Red Ogre not helping here, deciding to rampage a little bit. Now Freshman's in a bit of a situation where he's kind of blocked his own path. There's a tackle, diving tackle, covering the gap he wants to go to. So now you gotta... Oh gosh. Do you throw the one die and clear a path for to go through the middle? Not an ideal situation for TCU, but Freshman will figure something out.
I think here, doesn't he have to block with Lewis to open that middle up?
Probably. Because if
you use the other gutters to get in position?
Yeah, because if you cover the top gap, you still have to go through the diving tackle unless you like wiggle your way all through the middle and there's a guy there. And yeah, I think you got to do the one die because you have nobody in scoring range right now. Well, no, I guess Siobhan Heights technically is.
But it's not a one die. You have the assist.
Oh, right, the Rat Ogre's
guard on the rogue.
He's guard, of course. And then he's going for the foul because he has a bribe before trying to get the other gutter in range. Interesting. Thinking about it. Still thinking about it. I mean, rats have small brains, so sometimes it takes them a while. I get it. We do get the foul finally. We get a knockout. So we're going to 2-die the lineman and then send the blitzer downfield. No, we're going to dodge out. And then send him up to column 11, I imagine? Because you're not going to send him through the diving tackle, probably. Maybe.
Yeah, send him through the diving tackle. Oh, come on.
It's not a terrible spot for him with sidestep, I suppose. Good pickup by Mr. Justin Rogers, who I believe is a senior. Seems like he's been on that roster forever. So outside of your Rat Ogre getting permed again, how was your season opener against BYU, I believe it was? How'd that go?
Well, actually, that was my second game of the season because we opened against Navy a few days ago.
Ah, that's right. I don't remember that one, apparently.
So, against BYU, the 4-2 victory, but I lost my Rat Ogre, probably. I lost my junior thrower, block tackle, already had an MA injury. He got killed.
Aww.
And also lost a rookie lineman, I think. So
not a loss then, because it's just
not a loss, but the fact that I don't have much gold at this point because I took every gold coin I had to get my roster back up to 14 and before the season started.
That was your first graduating class, then I take it.
Yes.
What was it, like 7 players? 8 players?
8.
That's crazy that a skaven team can get 8 players at graduation. Oh, that's a very clutch pow on that gutter runner.
But all 4 gutters skilled in that game.
Oh. Alright, well, Julius is still technically within range, so I might try to move the diving tackle there. But that's a good play to push the gutter runner back if he sees it. Push him back out of range. Push him back. There it is. Alright, so Vernon Scott, -3. He can't make it. You get a blitz here. And then you go back and mark with tackle. Do we see a foul here? Because that gutter can... Yes, we do. And that's a very nice and clutch stun by...
Yes, because that was the one that could still get into the end zone.
Indeed it was. So, nice defensive play from Hawaii, which is not something we say very often. Albeit he doesn't have anybody in scoring position. But you can't do everything on your final turn sometimes. Well, turn 7. But preventing TCU from scoring is more important than half preventing them from scoring and getting somebody in scoring range yourself.
So the rookie was a rookie thrower, and my experienced thrower. Both were killed.
Oh. Looks like the running game for SMU this season, huh?
Appears so.
The Pony Express is back on, boys. Also, a very good ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, if no one's seen it, called The Pony Excess, talking about the SMU program of the 80s where they got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. That's the whole reason for naming the team SMU.
Nice. Who's meowing and why? Stop
Well,
it.
not the whole reason. They also wanted a rat rivalry with TCU, but they've been afraid since day one.
Well, I mean, after what you did to them in the Rose Bowl last season, I can see why. I guess I'll take a halftime break and go see what the cat needs. Freshman perhaps looking for opportunity here to chain push the gutter back into range. You'll have to blitz Hoku and then push, but I think you need to fill in the 2 gaps underneath the gutter runner, correct?
If he had sidestep, if the gutter runner had sidestep, he'd be good, but I
don't see it. I mean, the Rat Ogre
I don't
does
think he
have
has the
frenzy, so he's going to move this thrower also because you need a handoff. Okay, I think you need to be under the gutter, and then you could have blitzed the lineman up. Where's... And then he rolls a 1 anyway, so...
right there he could have gotten it because he would have pushed up and then to diagonally to the right, and then he could have been pushed up and then pushed that guy up, and then on the second block.
I think there was another gap he needed to fill first, but regardless, it doesn't work out. He goes for another vanity pass with the freshman, gets it this time. Both teams do still have a bribe given to them at the kickoff, so we'll see what... I don't know. I might be tempted to foul a gutter or a storm vermin here, depending on who goes down. I'd love to foul the rat ogre, but that's probably not likely. Yeah, I'd be a little hesitant to throw a block without those. Well,
I mean, Lewis is already on the ground.
True. There's quite a bit of a gang around him as well. Nelfine didn't need a ton of assists usually last night when he was fouling and removing Chaos Dwarf blockers literally the entire night, but to no avail as Ottawa couldn't get the job done. Then he sidestep. Oh, right, he has frenzy. They just took away from your foul assists, so not a fan of that one. I'm not sure you really want to foul with any of those guys, even if you do have a bribe. Oh, he's going to foul the Storm Vermin. Okay. I like it. Do it.
free up one of the assists.
All right, gets a knockout. Doesn't get caught. Not bad. And then the guy comes right back from the KO box. Wait, no, he doesn't. I misread the colors.
No, he's still out. Yeah, he's still out.
Yep, I just looked and saw the red. That's my bad. So that worked out pretty well. 1-1 at the half for Hawaii versus the Furry Hawaii, aka TCU. Let me go check what the cat wants, and I'll be right back. What's wrong? Alright, and I'm back. Hawaii on offense once again. TCU with their standard formation. They really need to get a kicker to make this more efficient. 2 gutter runners, 1 storm vermin, 1 rat ogre, and a bunch of just, baby rats out there. Hawaii down to 2 catchers, but they still have the mighty Zach Daniel, the 3-time top thrower award winner. I forget what it's called. I think it's called like the Gabbert Bryant Award, half named after one of their old throwers from an earlier version of Hawaii.
Is that the Banger Hardell?
That's the offensive player of the year.
Okay.
That's the first one that was a split name. I believe that one goes all the way back to season 2. The Hammer is the only original season 1 award. Also, I know Hawaii's going to do some screen up top and score again, but it feels like they should block the line of scrimmage and kind of slow play this. I realize they're not going to, but
yeah. While I don't like lots of blocks, I'm not a fan of this offensive setup.
Not a fan of no blocks.
Right. I actually had a ranked team at one point.
Oh no! Somebody also disagreed with Hawaii's setup and decided to voice their opinion about it with a rock, and Mr. Bethley got injured because of it. Guess I'll give a little bit of a cheer. So who's last on SMU's seasonal docket? If you already played Navy and BYU, who's your third target?
Murder Rat.
Ah, Air Force. Very nice.
But Murder Rat is currently out for the next game, so I guess he has a choice whether he wants to play BYU or SMU without Murder Rat.
Tough call. I think you'd want him more for the game against AB8 just because of Claw, but I don't know. But you're not going to be how do I phrase this? If you happen to play Air Force this season without Murder Rat available, you're not going to run away from questions about your strength of schedule in the out of conference, right? Because I know last season you were giving some other teams some oh my god, Zach Daniel. That's ridiculous. Runs back to the end zone.
That's the kind of stuff that I do with Harrison in the NBFL.
It is. You're not going to dodge questions about your out of conference strength of schedule, right? Because without Murder Rat, Air Force is just kind of there.
Yeah, I worry about my strength of schedule this season.
I mean, obviously not your fault.
But I'm in my like major rebuild season anyway, so I didn't expect much, and then I get blessed with the schedule, the conference schedule that I got.
True. I mean, Navy can certainly put a hurt on you, but they had likewise just graduated a bunch of players, especially all 4 Team Guard. Swampy's got usually a pretty solid high elf team in BYU. I haven't looked at his roster recently. And then Air Force, they've got a bunch of random decent players for an underworld team.
My rat ogre actually was killed, and the apothecary saved him by just giving him an armor penalty.
Didn't you get like a negative 2 die surfed or something? You said.
Yes, that's what it was. A negative 2 die surf that came up, push into the crowd, killed.
Love it. He is blocked too, correct?
Yes, block guard.
That's a bold play. Kind of regretting getting both MAs instead of taking a stand firm, I imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a movement 8 rat ogre with block is just ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, he was never movement 8 because he got the movement
and then
second movement on the same. Well, he got the second movement on the same game that he lost the movement.
Oh, God.
So he lost the movement and rolled a 6-4 after that game.
Classic. Parker Workman going for the 3 die POW on the Blitzer. No injury though. I've always had a few players in the NBFL that got a stat up, like a position like a Dark Elf Blitzer, for example, and I was like, so what if, they get the stat and then they lose it, but you keep him on the roster because he's close to a skill up, and then he gets the stat back? So essentially it'd be like strength 4 again, for example. Like, is that worth keeping despite like the massive TV investment, or?
To me, in the NBFL, it wouldn't be.
Right.
But being as that I know that I'm only going to have this player for 2 more seasons, and he's going to he'll lose his most closest to a normal role when he loses it for the injury. So he would have lost guard. So he still would have been a big guy with plus MA block.
Which is pretty good. Not as good is that foul, and I realized that you have a bribe, but you just fouled with one of your 2 Storm Vermin. The other one's not on the field right now. And that is your Mighty Blow Claw, and Claw obviously not as useful against Pro Elves, but you don't foul with one of your better players, even if you have a bribe.
Not when it's a 1-to-1 game, you don't think.
Yeah. Unless TCU is just trying to get their good players off the field to save them for another day, which...
are you saying they're scared?
I mean, that's what you told me. You said they were scared when they played you, and they won't rivalry you, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I realize you want the guard there to get the 2 die and create a gap, but those GFIs, man, when you're already down to 2 rerolls on the second turn.
But speaking of the reroll thing, I had planned on going for rerolls this season, but ran out of money preseason.
Well, he's going to go mark the gutters probably, and then he's going to pass the ball to the end zone because according to Hawaii rules, you must always pass the ball into the end zone unless it's like in case of emergency. And I think the only allowed emergency is literally having 1 player on the field.
I was going to say, I think I've seen him fail a pass to like win the game when he could have walked it in.
That sounds like Hawaii. Pass block again!
Pass blocker!
Now, the tackle is placed very well, so 1, 2, 3. You can tag him, but Nerves of Steel. Basically, either you force the 2+, which he's already doing, or you do some risky dodge to try to get a crazy interception, but you risk your gutter runner failing something.
He gets 3 movement?
Correct. Okay. Doesn't get the dodge this time. We get another passing touchdown from Hawaii. Shocking. 2-1 on turn 2 of the second half.
So if a pass blocker has leap, can they leap during their pass block?
I don't believe so. but I'm not bold enough to try. I don't usually have that skill set on most of my players. I suppose in the NBFL I already have leap on, just about everybody except the Crocs, so if I ever feel inclined to take pass block and you ever feel inclined to try to pass over me, I guess we can test that out.
After our game, I've been considering going back to Bash.
Gonna leave your beloved High Elves. I mean, that game was ridiculous. My frogs were moving people like they were like Claw Bomb Chaos or something. It was just elf after elf was just leaving the field. The only Mighty Blow I had was on the Croxagore. He eventually got a casualty, but everybody else was just...
I kept looking, like, nope, no Mighty Blow.
Yeah. It's kind of liberating, actually, playing a team where you don't have, like, just a designated, like, guy you blitz with all the time. It's literally, like, who's the best, like, available guy to create a better situation for the team? Do I need to free up some players? Do I need to try to surf somebody? Like, what do I need to do to make this turn successful? Instead of, oh, here's my Mighty Blow Frenzy guy. I'm just going to blitz the first thing I see. Ha 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 ha. Like, that works sometimes, but also when your team just removes stuff all the time, that also makes a big difference.
Right. But I think, like, that's one of the reasons that I love Rat so much is because with 2 blitzers and the Roger, I can, like, use whichever one I want to blitz, or if I've got a lineman that's a little skilled, or if I've got a horned gutter runner. But then on the, like, balling side as well, you've got 4 gutter runners that can like be all over and get the ball all over the place at any time.
It's true. I do enjoy them until I watch them play against like Chaos or Orcs, for example. Like watching Robo and the Rex play against Rel and his rat team. It's awful. Like as Skaven, you have like one turn the entire half when you're on defense in general to make the play to win the game, and the wizard obviously makes a big difference, but otherwise you have to like do some like risky leap and -2 die and all this stuff, and I'm like, that's not exactly how I want to play, just losing players all the time. And so I don't know, maybe I can't embrace the AV7 play style. Maybe it's just not my thing.
Yeah, my biggest problem is against like the strength 4 teams. Mm-hmm. Like teams that have at least 4 strength 4 players. Like I just have issues no matter what I'm playing, unless I have a team that of equal strength.
Right.
Playing as elves or playing as Skaven, that seems to be my biggest like Achilles heel is Orcs, Chaos, Nurgle, Lizards.
Yeah, go ahead, Anya.
All right, I'll say you seem to handle Navy pretty well, and I have 4 strength 5.
Yeah, well, that's a different story. Like you've got like your ball handling is a little suspect.
Yeah. In our NBFL weekly prediction show this past weekend, I talked about how, the first 2 weeks of the season I had both dwarf teams, and then I had Garks, Dark Elves, and then your High Elves in the 4th week. But all those teams, despite being different, they're all strength 3 based. This week against Kazaric and his strength 4 based orcs, it's a huge challenge for my frogs, and like you're saying, like I think that's a matchup that I'm going to struggle in because it's just so different when they have all that strength 4 in guard versus all the strength 3 in guard. But we'll see. We'll see.
Just seeing the game 2-1, this is not the offensive juggernaut game we were promised. Not that there's anything wrong with the defensive struggle.
Well, if my math serves me right, 2-1 at turn 2 of the second half still projects to be like a 3-2 or 4-3 or 4-2 kind of game.
Well, that's what everyone said about the Elf Bowl last year. And
yeah, that was a goddamn disappointment.
I loved it.
I know you did. Did you also love the Orange Bowl?
No comment.
Okay, fair enough.
How about the Rose Bowl?
I didn't see that, unfortunately. You guys played at like noon or something my time, and if I remember right, like I objectively like wanted to wake up and do that game, but the night before I got like 2 hours of sleep and couldn't go back to sleep, and then Like 9 in the morning rolls around and said, "There's no way I'm making this game." And so I went to bed eventually and did the later games, but wasn't able to make the Rose Bowl, unfortunately. But I've already got enough TCU games recorded and put on my YouTube page. Like, apparently I end up doing their games more often than not.
They're fan friendly.
Indeed they are.
And new season, I was gonna say, I'm sorry to everybody. I couldn't kill off John Cannon.
You tried, though. Didn't you perm him?
Yeah, minus armor.
Yeah, I mean, that's, not the same as a death, but it's pretty damn close.
So I'll either get to not face him, or I'll get the attempt to try to kill him at this point.
Mm.
And I guess, if I were Roto, that would be what would be in my mind, trying to choose who I want to play next. Which one of these teams is more likely to kill Murder Rat the game that I faced them?
I think the more important thing is which of these games can I win without Murder Rat? Or do other coaches think about things besides winning?
Well, I was speaking if I was playing Underworld.
So you're saying he shouldn't expect to win?
Kinda, I guess. I mean, he did well last season, but I do like the Underworld team in certain environments, which isn't this environment.
I mean, I think the NCBB is actually like a decent place for them because you get free money and free players every offseason if, the Gobos are just dying in droves. And other teams can't build up a bunch of tackle and mighty blow to crush your team. And now that you have the Gutter Runner, which is a buff, I don't care what any Underworld coach says, and that guy hurt himself on a dodge, the Gutter Runner is a huge buff to that team because that's a 1-turn threat, a 2-turn threat, a defensive threat. Just speed on a team that didn't have it before is a huge game changer.
Yeah, but does it make you rely on that player that can be removed too easily?
Any player on that team can be removed too easily. I mean, yes, obviously having one blitzer to do your main hitting and then one gutter runner to do your main scoring or your sacking. If you're missing that player for whatever reason, for the drive or for the game, it cripples the team. But you're also playing Underworld, so you don't have high expectations anyway. It's not like Skaven where you have 2 blitzers and 4 gutter runners. Like, you're actively choosing to play a worse team than Skaven because you think the mutation access is fun or something. I don't know what goes on in the minds of Underworld coaches.
Like, I want a gutter runner instead of a troll on a UW team.
You'd rather have 2 gutters than a troll?
I mean, a rat ogre. I'd rather have a rat ogre than a troll.
I don't know. The troll, I mean, both you have mutation access, so the troll, you just stick on the line, get guard, get tentacles, get stand firm. Like, he's a real menace, but he is a bit limited with MA4. We'll see what Justin Rogers can do here in the passing game. Gets a deep downfield to Mr. Heights, who's going to prance into the end zone. And it's 2-2. So I mean, literally just a turn ago, you were saying you were disappointed in the scoring, and now we got another score.
See, this is the problem with these teams. There's no reason a team should be able to go from end zone to end zone. One turn.
Kemry can do it too. Just roll higher. just roll 6s. Also,
yeah, not.
So have you ever? You've played a lot of Kemry, Aenir. Have you ever thrown a touchdown pass or caught a touchdown pass with a Tomb Guardian?
No, not a Tomb Guardian.
Disappointing.
I'm not saying my Tomb Guardians haven't scored.
Okay. You never had to do the desperation pass to a Tomb Guardian, though?
I don't usually have them far enough up the field for that to matter.
That's a fair point. I'll never forget, and I have it on my YouTube page, TCU versus East Carolina, Season 32. The game that saved TCU's season on the way to their first championship. Nomad had freshmen dead to rights in the first half. Like, his humans were hitting hard. Like, 2 players have been killed already. Freshman's only play to save the drive was to chuck the ball deep to a Rat Ogre, and it worked. And he ended up winning the game 3-2, shockingly. So, one of these days, Aenir, you need to try the same, where you just chuck it to a Tomb Guardian because you have to do it.
I've had two similar plays. Like I had with a lizard team, I had and I cannot remember right now if it was a skink 2 lizard thesaurus long pass or vice versa, but a long pass between the two, and then went in the end zone. And then on a UW team, Underworld team, the troll threw the ball from the midfield line to the end zone for a touchdown.
Nice. Dirthu's in our Twitch chat, and he says he's going to throw to a Tomb Guardian this game just for us. And then he said he's going to throw 1 pass per game to a Tomb Guardian for us. What a nice guy. I remember there was a very long time ago NCBB game. I was playing against a Chaos Dwarf team, and I think Asaurus picked off a pass in a tackle zone, so he's covered by a Dwarf blocker. And my only play, I guess, was to dodge away with the Saurus and then throw the ball with him to a skink, and it worked. And the other coach was not thrilled, to say the least. But, I mean, sometimes this stuff works. Ryan Fitz, if you remember him...
You need 6.
If you need a 6, yeah. Ryan Fitz, if you remember him, he was a savant at the Saurus passing game. He would throw a long bomb with the Saurus at least twice a season and make it work. Like, that guy had just a fun time playing this game.
I miss him.
I miss him too.
I miss a lot of the old timers from this league. And that doesn't mean I'm not trying to begrudge the new guys. They're great. But I miss just, having that shared history of like Exxon, I know you were technically part of season 1, like when the entire season was like how we're doing our OOC stuff.
Right, literally just open schedule for all 16 games or whatever it was. Yeah, that was a bad idea, but I didn't know what I was doing. And then my internet died for months, and so you guys and PML and a few other guys ran the league very well for a couple seasons, and eventually you restarted it for season 5, and the rest is history.
I still don't know how I got through that. I've seen all the work you do, and I don't know how I did it.
The league was much smaller back then, to say the least. Dirthu in the chat saying his first tourney game with halflings, or his first tourney game was with halflings in 2016. He scored with a tree man in the first half. He picked up a fumble and blitzed every turn downfield until he scored with the tree man. I love it.
I mean, within possibilities, just don't roll ones.
Exactly. Looks like we're getting our sideline screen again.
Oh, I was gonna say this looks like the screw it, everyone go deep. The schoolyard play.
It's true. The rats can't cover everybody, right? We've only got 1 pass blocker, so he can't be in 2 places at once. Mr. Zach Daniel going for his 3rd completion. I'm surprised he didn't back up to the end zone again. At this point, do you think TCU should, alter their defensive strategy? I realize their setup's a little different than last time, but they're just giving up the sidelines and the ball goes to this dump-off catcher every time.
I think your best bet is 3 on the line, put everyone between the 7 and the 5 column up and down. If they go up the middle, obviously, you can kind of collapse the wings, but if you stay back, you're going to try to make them slow down.
Yeah, I think covering...
Not that it works for me very much against volley teams, but I always try to. Keep a couple of guys deep, for those weird last-minute elf shenanigans. But,
right.
Try to pen him in and make him make dodges instead of throws. That's all you can pretty much do.
Yeah, we'll see what TCU decides to do here. They haven't really taken a shot on the ball recently. They've tried to get next to it or mark the guys in front of it, but a good pro-off team is hard to stop. That is a dump-off, blodge, sidestep catcher, so even if you hit him, no guarantee to stop the drive.
You really just need tackle for that and hope for POWs. He's still going to get rid of the ball, but at least, Yeah, if you're blocking him, hopefully you have someone there to catch the dump-off. If I remember correctly, dump-off is a quick pass, right?
Yes, you've only got a range of, 3 squares? On the Well, I mean, 3 is a generalization, because sometimes in the angle you can't do certain ones, but maybe blitzing the front catcher, tagging the blitzers, and forcing him to roll some dice is the correct play. Because you can't get to the ball, you know, without rolling like 3 6s in a row, but... Going for the Rat Ogre Blitz. You do have Juggernaut, but you have to get a POW to take him down. And, well, you get it on the second one.
And then you can dip right back into that corner with no up.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to as well. You're tagging 2 catchers and a blitzer.
With prehensile tail.
And guard and staying firm. But in a spot right there, you either have to go through him or you have to go through the gutter up top. So I'd take your thrower and put him right behind the gutter and force Apijar to make some decisions.
Yeah, I was gonna say as it is.
I mean, there's definitely still... Oh, he went for the foul, even though you don't have a bribe anymore.
Tossed, but he made the argue call.
Classic. Also, he just fouled with his agility 5 Hail Mary pass thrower. Like, how are you going to score? And then Apijar throws a block without block.
And touchdown here.
Passing touchdown, of course. Obviously, he's going to run that guy to the end zone.
Yeah.
And then go pass the ball here.
All it takes is
to the corners if he misses either way.
Someone's. Come on.
I was
want
gonna say,
to see
yeah.
pass fail. There's been way too much offense.
Why are you...
What?
I mean, yeah, continuing to score with Ely doesn't do a ton for you. He's already at, what, 71 SPPs?
Pass block.
Well, he is marked by tackle. And then, I mean, I suppose you could kind of like wiggle your way in there for the interception.
A 3+.
Dirthu hoping for some kind of like fail here and crowd scatter. And well, instead we get a badly hurt gutter on a failed dodge. And then we get another Hawaii touchdown to make it 3-2. The passing game going very well overall.
If the rumored changes are true, Hawaii's offense is going to have to be drastically changed.
I suppose.
I mean, all those... I don't think the catcher's going to be able to catch or throw as effectively anymore.
I guess that makes sense. Although that kind of kills the dump-off skill in general, unless you have it on a thrower that you turn into some kind of like runner hybrid.
Unless it allows you to throw at a +1 or 2 or something to make it actual, useful.
Yeah, I mean, dump-off is not that common overall. I mean, you see it on Pro Elf catchers and Dark Elf runners, and that's about it, kind of it, yeah.
Maybe a gutter runner here and there?
No. I remember... dump off. I remember Eisen, one of the older NBFL commissioners from many years ago at this point, he had an orc team with an agility 5 orc thrower named Matthew Stafford, and he had dump off on it. It was kind of strange. I mean, it kind of worked. You have a big orc cage, and even if they did get to your thrower somehow, you could just dump it to a blitzer or something, but that team never lived up to its potential.
Yeah, dump off is for Pro Elf catchers. Because they already have Nerves of Steel.
Exactly. I like Dark Elf runners with it. I know some people don't like Dark Elf runners at all on their team, so they just don't use it. It's really hard to protect Witch Elves, runners, and blitzers, especially at high TV when everyone can just kill your blitzers relatively easily. But I don't know. I've actually used Dark Elf runners as more of like a defensive catcher almost. I'd give them dodge and wrestle and stuff like that, and just use them as kind of like another defensive piece. If they happen to die, then whatever. I suppose I can ask this question to both Dirthu and Einir. Have you guys ever considered taking Hail Mary Pass on a second thrower and using him as a defensive piece? So whenever you force a turnover, you just run up there, relatively quickly. You're a skeleton, you're kind of slow, but you get over there, pick up the ball, then just punt it all the way down the field. Is that something you guys have done or considered?
Nope.
I actually built my very first Blood Bowl team, which was skaven, around a thrower having Hail Mary Pass and all of the gutter runners having
diving catch.
I
love it. I think it is something similar with a halfling team, just messing around in League or whatever it was, and took Hail Mary Pass on a double on one guy, took diving catch on a few of the halflings, and never looked back.
The forward pass is the devil.
You didn't say that when it helped you beat TCU last season.
It was still the devil. I just made a deal with the devil. That's why
just made a deal with the
pass
devil.
picked in the bowl game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll see what Hawaii does for their kick. They don't have a super deep roster, so they're only fielding, 10 players right now? So TCU certainly has a chance to grind the ball downfield if they so choose. But if they want to win this game, I guess they need to score and then get a blitz or hope Hawaii finally fails like a pass or a catch somewhere. We'll see. Down to mere 4 turns left in this game.
28 yards passing or boxes passing for the Hawaii and 14 for TCU.
I think that's more passing than Navy has in their entire history as a team.
Not quite, but I mean that's more than Navy has in a normal graduating class.
Fair enough. What are we waiting on here? Oh, nice catch by, I'm assuming, a freshman line rat. Nice injury there by Mr. Stormont. Hawaii down to 9 players for now.
I mean, I can't remember which player it was, but I know a thrower of mine actually won Thrower of the Year one year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking this up right now. I don't believe you. All right.
Sounds like a pity award to me.
All right, Gabbert Bryant Award. That's Hawaii. That's also Hawaii. That's Hawaii. Shocking. Michigan State. John Barman's from Nevada. Troy Smith was Ohio State. David. I mean, I'm not.
Then maybe it was the Banger Hardell, best offensive player.
Okay, that's still not likely. Wait, Gerard Bryant. Yep, Gerard Bryant. You had a throw raw, get Offensive Player of the Year way back in Season 3 in the Dark Ages. Okay. Alright, so you're not completely off your rocker.
Only mostly.
Only mostly.
A thrower with 2 completions on record.
He must have scored a lot of rushing touchdowns or something. Let me double check.
Yeah, nine rushing touchdowns in his career.
In his career?
Yeah.
Like,
In his career, 30 games.
We have players get that in half a season now.
How did he win Offensive Player of the Year?
All right, I'm going to go back and nullify that voting because people clearly had no idea what they were talking about.
Well, he probably would have had a longer career, but he niggled, and that was LRB4, so niggling actually was a pain in the butt to deal with.
Speaking of pain in the butt to deal with, you ever just continue fouling even though you don't need to? I mean, he keeps fouling and getting caught and losing
done that in the
players.
past.
TCU has the man advantage here. You should probably like use it and also not double skull your blitzes. Also, if you're gonna go and blitz the gutter runner, you might as well move a second guy over there to create a 3-die block. Because you have strength 3, you get 1 assist, 2 assists, strength 5 against strength 2. If you're just gonna blitz that guy and move the rest of your guys around, you might as well make it the best block possible.
I honestly surprised he went for the bolt down.
And then he's going for the foul because he has a bribe still. But oh my god, what a weird game.
I'm surprised he didn't try to blitz and push him up towards the sideline.
Well, it doesn't do any good unless you can actually like surf him.
It makes it harder for him to escape.
But then you give up all your positioning and he just runs the opposite way downfield, and then you go from winning a game that you should be winning to tying the game.
Come on, Andy, you know all about the rats running all over the field.
That's why I try to push them towards the sidelines as much as possible. If they go out in the crowd, they can't run all over the field, can they?
Fence them in. Well, the problem with your fence them in strategy is that there's a lot of open field to the bottom. So fencing in one rat doesn't do any good if you let the other 10 rats scramble around and do their thing.
Yes, but on the other hand, one less skaven gutter runner.
At this point in the game, I'm Dirthu saying they can't run if they don't have legs in his experience. Looks like we get a shot on Mr. Zach Daniels here. And then he miscalculated because guard's right there, I'm assuming. And then he takes a shot on the guard instead and pows him. Zach Daniels, rare appearance on defense, perhaps staring at his impending doom. The Storm Vermin looks...
He can score this turn. Go for it.
Do you want to, though?
Yes, how are you going to win if you don't score?
I mean, at this point, I assumed you were just happy to get out of here at the tie, but does not appear to be the case. So, 3-3, turn 6 in this opening game of the season for both teams in this rivalry match. Hawaii will have 2 turns to score. TCU will have 2 turns to do something about it, potentially.
All it takes is a blitz or a riot.
Perhaps. Or you just give up another sideline score like you've done all game, then Apajar tries to throw the ball into the end zone, and this time he'll fail it and lose. Well, not lose, but fail to win the game. Wait. Freshman just said, I'm keeping it close in passing yards. Then Apajar's retort was, score is what matters, not passing yards? I'm sorry, sir. You are the last person I want to hear that from. The last person I want to hear that from. You believe in passing yards and fluff more than anything, more so than touchdowns. You won't even allow yourself to score if you don't pass the ball into the end zone on that turn. Ugh.
I honestly think he's not going to hold to that. I mean, if it's 1-1...
He lost games last season because he didn't do that. He didn't break his rule, and he lost games or tied games because of it.
TCU, why are you setting up like that again?
Because it's time for a blitz, and he's going to get it. Because TCU has the devil's luck. Or at least they used to.
Sets up like that to push the offense to one side of the field.
But then he's done a bad job of like cutting them off with a double stack on the sideline.
Yeah, well, I can't speak of that.
Pitch invasion, and most of the rats go down. Not most, but 4 is a significant number.
Zach Daniels down.
Yes, but Daniels down.
I mean, any other elf can pick up the ball and throw it, as we've seen.
Yes, but will Apajar let that happen?
Well, he doesn't have a choice now, does he?
He may just wait it out.
Yeah,
I'll wait for Zach Daniels to get back.
Zach Daniels can't get there in the next turn. He's too slow now.
Then someone grabs the ball, runs back to Zach Daniel, hands
Look,
it off next
also-
turn, and then they throw it.
I was going to say, I forgot to mention that the first thing Apogee should have done is put 2 players in scoring position. Instead, he threw a block with a guy who doesn't have block. So that's also a negative
Yeah,
points.
that's a Navy level mistake. Don't do it.
No comment. Okay, so you've got 3 players in scoring position. You've got 3 players left to pick up the ball. You can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can pick up with the top lineman, Kaneshiro, pass to Stan, or grab it with the catcher and then double screen him off. I mean, there's a couple plays here. He's just going for the pass with Stan. Gets it with the reroll, but now he's down to 0 for the final turn. We'll see if it makes a difference. You put Mr. Jason... Okay, I was thinking more in the middle of like this cage. Right, because you... Well, if you move Kai 1 more forward and then you had Jason down, he's in the middle of a nice little rectangle with 4 dump-off targets if the Rats wanted to do anything sneaky. But now we'll see if Hawaii stays true to their fluff, or if Einir's prediction of them breaking it to try to win comes true, because with no reroll, and you try to pass the ball to the end zone on the final turn, that's a 2+ pass and a 2+ catch. And that's not guaranteed in Blood Bowl, unfortunately.
Yeah, but don't we always feel a bit betrayed when we fail, like, you know, the 2 go for it's with the actually no reroll, but
No.
Get Scott.
No.
Get Scott in the scoring position. Oh, come on!
I mean, you can still get another guy, and well, you're kind of blocking your own path. But yeah, send the other gutter downfield. No! TCU was perhaps given up on trying to win the game. Also, you have 3 rerolls. You use one here, so you're going to tag the ball carrier after a GFI, but you're going to fail the GFI, of course.
Use it.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, like, for half a second I considered using it to keep him, and then you don't. Okay.
But he didn't do it anyway, so.
Okay.
And I guess you force either a dodge or a go for it by going there.
True. I mean, there's a couple routes here, like, without considering where the thrower is, you just blitz through the gutter, GFI, or hand off into the end zone. That makes it a little tougher, but you can still get a pretty easy... It's a frenzy, so you don't want to do that. I'd almost consider just using Mr. Kaneshiro dodging up and blitzing the gutter up top down and creating a path for Jason to go around the corner. But again, he wants to throw the ball into the end zone, so he's going to have to do something crazy here. And that makes it a little tougher. So, we'll see what Apogee decides to do.
It's almost like freshmen played for that.
Maybe.
Yeah, move him up. There you go. Now, knock him off with a block by Killins, and then blitz Kai to push the gutter runner to open up the way for the ball carrier.
Nope, he's going the other way. Look, moving Daniels doesn't do your damn things.
Had to get him up off the ground. He couldn't. It was pride thing.
Dust him off a little bit. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Daniels has probably accumulated the least amount of dirt on his jersey of any player in NCBB history.
One-turners, maybe. That only show up on offense.
True.
All right, so
2, 3, 4,
dodge.
5. You could still do the dodge blitz up top on the gutter.
Dodge solo out, blitz with Killins, taking him to the end zone, and then you can pass. It would take 2 go for it.
He's really looking for a way to Fuck this up. Was not what I was gonna say, but that's what it looks like. And now you just dodge through, I guess, and you GFI and you.
Oh no, pass!
I think Apajara is gonna like make some excuse about how like that was a situation where he didn't couldn't realistically do it.
I'm booing that.
I mean that's fair. I'm gonna boo that as well. When you live by the fluff, you die by the fluff. Nope, doesn't say that. I'm gonna go edit that in his team bio. I'm not sure I can edit bios actually.
You can't, but Oregon and Crichton can.
I'm not gonna ask a site admin to do. Maybe. I want to say he owes me a favor, but that's not remotely true. Crichton's always helped me out with so many different things.
Well,
okay, so I can't.
This is him helping you out with something else.
I can't edit the bio, but apparently I can change the image and I can change the team name. The Hawaii scaredy cats or something, or I don't know.
The Hawaii didn't pass.
Hawaii rule breakers.
Or change it to the what's the team that runs the ball all the time? Like Wisconsin L'Oreal.
Yeah. Classic. I think that's a fitting punishment. I love the fact that he knows that we know that we know that he knows. But we're going to see a one-turn attempt again from the Skaven. Perhaps it'll go better this time, but the double sidestep certainly doesn't make it easy. Rat Ogre, what do you do here? If you block that guy... See, if MRT were here, he'd know what to do.
Are you actually going to change the team name? That'd be awesome.
I'm thinking about it, honestly.
Well, you got one turn to do it in, so I just need to go back to his page and notice it.
I'll do it tonight when he's asleep.
No. Do it so he sees it at the end of this game.
Tempting. I'm actually trying to find...
hard.
How about the Hawaii power option run or power option?
I mean, I get it.
It's not hard really if he's going to use the Roger and hope that he doesn't roll a 1, but he has to move one of the gutter runners up and move the storm vermin up, and then the Roger would block up and then over to where the gutter runner currently is.
Actually,
and then everything would be in position.
I'm thinking about using
without a blitz.
Oh yeah, okay. So if he does this, he needs to have the gutter up, because otherwise he has to. Okay, this changes things.
Right.
That actually makes things a lot easier, probably. So you Juggernaut blitz this guy, push him here. So move basically the storm vermin up, the gutter northwest, so he's closer. This could work. You just have to cover that top corner.
Yeah, he needs to get someone up there.
Why did you tie up your line rat at the bottom? You need him free.
Well, this possibly saved him because his original setup was all wrong.
Yeah, he was going to run into the wrong spot. But we'll see what TCU can do here. Rat Ogre, no pressure, big guy. I mean, all I said before the game was he needs to be retired immediately, and this doesn't help his case. Obviously, you use the reroll. And that's all you need.
But he also still has the blitz basically to free him up as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a block action. Okay. So just bring some guys around. Blitz the guy.
Yeah, bring
down.
those two linemen around and blitz the storm vermin. Oh no.
Hey guys, this is still going?
Yes, we're on turn 16. We're trying the one turn attempt, and it might work.
Okay,
We're
well,
also we're also giving Hawaii a lot of crap because they didn't pass it into the end zone.
True, they had to run the ball in like a bunch of non-Hawaii players.
well, that just shows they're versatile.
No, don't do this to us.
We've
been
So this
discussing-
game ended up being the second half was fun.
Sure.
Okay, because
Your game was not?
no, you would have had a lot of fun with my game.
Oh. So you won 5-0.
No, I'm waiting for his one turn attempt to see what happens.
Alright, well, we're going to
But-
see what Koi can do here. Just needs a push,
Wait.
but gets a POW. And now he just needs to catch the ball and double GFI and, all that fun stuff with no reroll.
See, if you had extra arms, you wouldn't have had to do that last block.
Exactly.
Interception.
I mean, it could be. All you need to do is roll 6, right?
Yeah, he also has safe throw.
Oh, yeah. That safe throw of yours, Archaean, saved you from a Crocsco interception in our game. I was so bummed. There we go. Double GFI, Mr. Vernon Scott.
Here
Can
comes-
he? No! He misses the first one. Oh, no.
There's a 4-3 finish, ain't here?
There's the 4-3 finish that somebody called. Oh, my goodness.
Dutch life, what he said for TCU.
Ah, so Dutch 1 point for correct score, minus 1 point for wrong team, I guess? Oh well. 'Twas a good game between Hawaii and TCU in a rivalry match. 4-3 is the final. Hawaii coming out on top. We saw a little bit of everything. Fouls, passing, running, even by Hawaii, so it was a fun one. Thank you for joining me, Einir, Archaean, Baz, and we'll catch you next time, everyone.
Change his name.
Jesus.
X-Con, I sent you a link to that UW game where I threw that pass.